again. Hello, how are we doing? Um, it's late. Yes, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do anything today. In fact, this is one of the very few things I did today, which is why I gave myself clown makeup. Because I'm trying to tell myself it's allergies, but it feels very much more intense than that. But at the same time, I feel fine, so why can't I do anything? Don't know. Get the frogs out of my brain, right? And what I find really interesting is that like a few months, I want to say it was like a couple months ago. I think it was my readings, like on the stream, where I was saying holding back your feelings is making you sick, and now no one around me is sick, and I feel like awful. And I'm like, wow, what am I? I don't even know if that makes sense. What do I not say? I kind of speak my mind all the time, right? But apparently, what I'm doing isn't good enough. So, gotta keep running my mouth. Apparently, hey, how's it going? Um, I'm a goofball, but last minute changed the title of this to something random, but that sounded appropriate. Sound in mind, not sound of mind, right? Most of us got chatter going on in there. So, you know, no, I'm gonna just maybe just roll the ads. Get adjusted to the light and the camera real quick because man, I had a long, quiet day of rest, and I honestly kind of hated it. And I'm big into rest, but sometimes when I'm like, man, I'm fucking ready to do some shit, and my body's like, too bad we're not. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're kidding me, right? I've been waiting for this for 2 weeks straight, and you're gonna take it away from me right now? The goddamn sniffles? I don't think so. So it's like the least I could do was once again my clown makeup and stream. Clown coin stream. Okay, to say Pisces season in 100 different ways. Let's roll the ads. Okay, clearly I'm. That was cute. That was cute. Okay, be right back. I feel like I won't last long once more. I kind of started late intentionally because I wanted to stay up, but I didn't really want to stream, you know. I did, but I uh, just not feeling it, not feeling great. I don't know what I did so wrong. I probably me cursing God and screaming at the sky or whatever the fuck. That probably did it. Um, but it is odd to think back and remember hearing the advice either from me or from another reader about holding your feelings and making you sick. Man, I thought I was pretty expressive. I thought I like do release a lot of it. What the fuck? What have I done? um, what do I need to say? What do you need to say? Think about that, you know? Especially if you just keep getting the colds and stuff. I was like sick all of December. It drove me nuts. It literally drove me insane. And so the very thought of being sick again is sending me into an aggro place. It's pissing me off for sure. Because I'm about to be in my good week. Ugh. But hey, maybe I already put in the work, you know what I mean? Maybe I already did the damn thing. Maybe the whole point is life is like, hey, not yet. And just to embrace the breaks, I guess. I don't know. Seems like too much breaks. It seems like I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. I don't really want to be stopped. I want to be paid, you know? More, anyways. So it's an interesting internal physical battle right now, feeling this way. And of course you see all the like chemical spills in the area and you're like, oh, am I just breathing that? Am I just really sensitive to that stuff? That like the poison my species of type of alien genetic material I am made of, or I'm just kidding. That part I'm kind of kidding. Impression, make jokes. Shit's pretty serious. Um, Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. So what's been going on? You know, if is there any deck that we would like to see tonight? Because oh my god, and I might do some tarot. The thing is, when I was about to sit down and do this, I felt really energized for the first time in the day. But then once I'm in the sea, I don't. So I almost feel like the exhaustion is felt across the board, which is odd because I'm pretty much high energy a lot of the time, unless I'm literally physically sick. And right now I am. So it's almost like I'm being forced to come down, even when I wasn't really planning on it. And so, in this grounding, right, it's been a pretty hard landing. Um, because I'm in flux, right? My hormones. So a little bit more of the insecurity, a little more of the anxiety, and self-conscious, right? Feeling more like, oh, yeah, no, I guess it's not unusual to dislike me, is it? Maybe I am an unlikable person after I've just put in years and years of work into being better and understanding my every motive and reason for doing anything. But you know what? There's like always supposed to be work to be done, I think. And it's just a matter of what comes up and checking your own progress. And sometimes life will show you the worst in you just so you can show it that you are better than this. And I'm going to stick with that. And I hope that all of you stick with that. That, you know what, sometimes you're reminded of who you were or how you are to prove that you can handle being different and you can actually have faith that you're a better person and in your heart of hearts know that it's true because you have actively put in the effort to become better. And that is good enough. That's exactly what good enough is at least fucking trying or understanding that it's a need or possibility, right? Something about this conversation is making me want to lean into the shadow self readings, like the shadow side, and then call it a night. um, but I kind of thought about the mystery deck, but I might just be too exhausted of them. I feel like with all the recent UFO scandals, it would seem appropriate to have the aliens out, right? Um, but when the spaceship beams you up, boy, get drunk fast. So, wow, Saturday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I kind of want to know, but I think I might be too exhausted, Dom. What's up? Listen, maybe we work on ourselves tonight, and for the New Year's Eve party stream that I didn't think I'd have, but now I'm like, well, I'm missing Friday. Last night was short. Haven't been doing much. Not even feeling great. Very incapable of doing any kind of thinking. The thing about tarot, it's a lot of energy, but it's really like almost no thinking at all. Like the whole point is to just say what comes to mind. And sometimes when I'm talking about myself, you'll notice I'm more conscientious of what I say and like take my time to say it. But most of it's just channeling. So I'm not really thinking about what comes out of my mouth necessarily, or very much plotting each sentence unless I am talking at this speed. 100% it's myself. So right now, if I lack brain power, I can still exert energy, right? Um, Last night we were talking about alcohol. We were talking about having a dry Pisces season, y'all, and that is literally such a challenge because if I did the math right, Pisces are basically like 12% gay, 78% alcohol, and 10% lies. So I feel like not drinking during Pisces season would really be an ultimate kind of sacrifice because it is supposed to be we party, we dance, blah, blah, blah. Imagine if we did it Cali sober or something. No stimulants for some reason. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the no caffeine thing, but I do feel like I need to. So we shall see how that goes. But the alcohol was really important. And I was kind of discussing it with a friend today. And there was this need to do this because it's almost as if it's like the sacrifice level of how good your new year is going to be. Okay. So, Pisces season being like the final season in the zodiac cycle, meaning we're closing out 2022, which is why a lot of like bunk ass shit and drama has come up since the new year. And everyone was like, oh, leave it in 2022. We haven't left 2022 yet, is the thing. So, like, we are leaving it in 2022. But we're not to 2023's new zodiac cycle yet, right? So Aries season starts March 20th. Pisces season starts February 19th. Yoko Ono's birthday. Isn't that funny? So I'm thinking February 18th, the last night of Aquarius season. Get super drunk, talk to the aliens. I don't know. Does this sound fun? It sounds kind of fun. Go balls to the wall. Probably for me equals like one bottle of wine with a shot mixed in it because it's how I drink is make potions. But and probably half the bottle because I'll be like, I'm tipsy. But the aliens, they're so intense. I'm like, should we do that? Because it could be fun. Um, but tonight maybe we'll focus on the shadow self. And then New Year's Day, assuming I don't get so drunk I'm hungover, I'm usually pretty good at making the concoction so that I don't. Well, do you think I would? Brethren, first of all, I never get that drunk. I really don't. I tap out. Four wines is my absolute maximum. That's like maybe a bottle, depending on the glass. I don't actually get drunk because I have definitely said fighting words when I'm drunk. Um, can only be with the grace of God. I can only be with the grace of God. So if the devil wants me to buy a drink, I can only do two shots. I'm fine without alcohol. Do you think I've said? Have you seen me drink on this stream before? Have I said anything offensive before? I don't think so. I think I just sing more and I'm more silly for the most part because yeah, I don't actually get drunk. Like I said, make a potion, have alcohol one more time, and then Pisces season dry, and then New Year's Eve getting fucking rowdy once more with wine because it's like Jesus time, you know. And then bringing in the new year. I'm back to restricting my alcohol use to potionry and celebratory drinks. I don't really know what that means, so I'm gonna say no, but at the same time, being like a polyamorous love witch queen, I would say yes, I have polyjuice. You know what I mean? But no, because what is it? That's my final answer. um, yeah, so if that sounds cool, that's what I was thinking about. But y'all should really consider not drinking for Pisces season. Once more, let me explain it. Like I said, I was chatting with a friend, and it's almost like, okay, imagine that this is like a bottle, right? And if you get this bottle into the new year full, you're going to have a full new year. And the more that you drink out of this bottle, the less you have going into the new year, right? So if you have a sip of alcohol, like, okay, that's fine. You still are going to have a pretty good year. But if you're like getting drunk every night, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not putting any intentions or any resolutions or any resolve into finalizing your details and your unfinished business of the cycle. And that was the end of a 10-year, like, you know, decade. That decade was very, it was like the apocalyptic cycle was closing and we are officially in the new world. And I think we all need to like take a breath and recognize that this is not where we used to be, like on any level. On any level. Um, and the more you embrace that fact, the quicker you can get acclimated and adjusted and caught up on what's going on. So you just need to like embrace that the truth is slowly being revealed and like nothing is necessarily a distraction as much as it is an explanation, and the things that are happening are coinciding on purpose. So let's go back to Harry Potter. First of all, I read that shit when I was like 7. It was cool. When I read this shit when I was like 10, it was like less cool. I never finished the series. It was okay. It's like the books got so long because she was clearly trying to write movie scripts. It was annoying. The turf stuff, I'm out. I was barely in the first place. You want to be a fucking turf? Get the fuck on. Nobody gives a fuck about your stupid magic boats. I'm sorry if that's hurtful to people because I know a lot of people like really found shelter in Harry Potter. So don't take it personally. That comment was at J.K. Rowling specifically. So she does feel that if people still buy her books, they align with her, essentially, which is kind of an evil thing to do, but also very obviously true, right? So it's a very hard take, but it's just, Hey, Miss Balloon Hands, it's been a fucking minute since you've been around, so it's funny. Maybe this is like relevant though. Um, yeah, that's amazing. And you're here to support people. Well, maybe you're gonna take the month off sugar like that. I am. I'm a little like not well in that way, but overall I'm pretty just well all the time. I love my brain. I love the way I think. I think I struggle the most with interacting with other people, and that when I'm alone and I'm isolated and with myself, I feel much more confident in all of my decisions. But those decisions also include like suicidal ideations. So I'll even be so at peace with myself that I'm like, it was a beautiful life. And it's like, whoa, nobody asked you to do that. Why'd you get, because uh, have PMDD, but it seems more dramatic when it's happening. Well, maybe you can find something to give up to be your resolve. Stop drinking water. I'm just kidding. You absolutely cannot stop drinking water. That would be really bad advice. Man, the internet is a fucked up place. You know what I think about a lot? This is like so funny to me. There's so much censorship on the internet right now and lately, and it is because of TikTok. Like there was always like nudity censorship on um Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but I don't know. They're not even censoring alt-right content or like radical. leftists, even like me. I mean, I'm not trying to ask to be censored, but there's a lot of like non-censored material. But the fact that people literally like say unalived and like spell weed different, like censorship in that way definitely stems from TikTok. Um, but now it's become the social norm because it's uniform across all platforms. So it was so, hey, you've been on here a lot lately. I appreciate it. Are you interested in tarot or are you just being a great friend? I was like, I love you both ways, every way, every day. Hey, thank you once again. Um, the censorship's crazy, and the way it happened is even crazier because we censored ourselves for them. We were like willing to censor and change our language. That's okay. Sometimes that's a lot of what I did today. Because like my brain frogs were like, "You ain't doing thanks. You ain't doing shit." No, it's okay. It's only been 20 minutes. You're here now. Look at everybody's here tonight. I don't know what that's about, but hey guys, I'm so happy that y'all showed up. Okay, thank you. I'm glad somebody made a decision. I appreciate that. I agree. Doesn't it sound like the kind of the conversation we need to have? I'm sitting with my shadow the past few days and I'm like aggravated by its existence and I'm upset with myself and all the mistakes I've made. But I also recognize that my shadow's well integrated. Thank you. Ah, yay. Thank you. I find that my shadow is well integrated into who I am and a lot of my daily practices as I do give it space to exist, such as Peter Pan would, which any association with Peter Pan is dangerous territory for me because if I were a man, okay, we all know that. We all see that. Um, or do we just sympathize for men for not being able to exist in the same way as we can? Because it does feel like the queer identity makes it also slightly socially acceptable to be weird, right? Or that people expect me to be weird because of the way I identify. Whereas men perhaps don't get the same, you know? Um, I do try to see sides that have relevant points. There's no sympathy in that necessarily because y'all did it to yourselves for making each other feel bad. My shadow or the Peter Pan syndrome. uh, yeah, I have tamed it. How would you know? Who are you again? I thought you were like 19 and I don't know who you are or something. Um, oh well. How do you know when it was when we were wild? No, it was. Okay, so that's a good point. This is like real chatting hours. If you are new here, just tuning in or haven't been here in a while, if you ever see this pink box, this is how we know with the wide shot and all the art. This is us just chit chatting around. Okay, I got you. I got you. I was like, what are you talking about? I like it. Cool, that makes more sense. Um, this is like the chatting time, so we're just gonna chat a bit until we get to tarot. Once the tarot's on, the chat will move to this side of the screen, and there will be like a smaller turquoise box here. Um, I find it just less distracting, so we can focus on the tarot more. But this is a free for all, so this would be the time where I am going to explain somewhat of the shadow self, only to my own extent of interpretation, and then maybe talk about whatever else until we get to the readings. But you'll know when we switch. Okay, come on. I don't think you could say it's just like more of the true self because it's honestly, it's just like the hidden parts. I grabbed the Thoth deck, but that wasn't really what I intended to grab. So that's interesting. We might have to check in with the Thoth deck if we have other plans for New Year's. Oh, there's a whole ass deck falling back here. Okay. Cosmic deck of initiation needs to be put away and doesn't want to be. Them damn angels trying to get in everybody's business. We appreciate the nosy bitch. Okay, so let's let's just do a literal metaphor, okay? We're all this disco ball. Each one of us is a disco ball. So when you cast this light on this disco ball, it reflects it, right? It lights up, it's shiny, it flashes back at you. Look at that. It's mesmerizing, it's beautiful, and it lights up the room, right? But realistically, somewhere either below or behind this disco ball, it just still has a shadow where the light is not shining. Like the light can only the light's over coming from this way, it can't shine. Your shadow self, yeah, your shadow self is the dark side of the disco ball. You know what I mean? So even though we all see these wonderful, beautiful projections that you reflect upon other people and the ways that you light up a room or contribute to the vibe or the way you shine and are beautiful, there's that side of you that one, no one wants to be in because they can't see anything, and two, you don't really want anyone to see because it's hidden. That's the shadow self. So it's not necessarily any truer than you being able to shine and for people, right? But it's the hidden part of you, part that you hide. For some people, there's different reasons to hide, right? For some people, they are at the core fucking evil. Yeah. And for other people, they're very fucking scared. And for other people, they're very much like in love or obsessed and would rather present something hateful, I guess. You know what I mean? Like everybody's shadow self is going to look different because it depends on what part of you you're hiding or repressing and what kind of light is shining on you or whose light is shining on you based on what you're reflecting. Because then whatever part isn't being lit up is being hidden. And that's going to look different for everyone or based on someone else's perception. So there's like, well, I don't want to say there's a lot to unpack with it, but that's kind of how that is almost kind of how the shadow works, right? Like just hiding those parts of yourself, but hiding oftentimes from yourself just as much as anyone else, even beyond the casual observer. You're like unwilling to address it. So repressed memories go in the shadow, and undesirable situations go in the shadow. Trauma goes in the shadow. Unresolved feelings go in the shadow. Unfinished business go in the shadow because it's anything that you're hiding and just trying to project for other people. That's like, you know, yeah, yeah. But what is darkness? This place for healing. The place where, hey, we understand no one wants to see that side of you, but we can. You can come back here and you can hide for a little bit till you yourself turn around and shine a light on it. Because all things that are done in the dark will come to light eventually. And that's kind of where we're at, I think. I don't want to say in society, but I mean a little bit in society. So it sounds cool. Yeah. Like the way, even like whatever you kind of referenced from it sounded like it went right along with our conversation genuinely. So it sounds like a pretty cool game. Yeah, I love that. So some people are like, no, I don't have a shadow. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I'm a bad person. I'm not dealing with that. I'm repressing it. I'm avoiding it. Blah, 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 blah. Other people want to do the work. Some people are faced with the work. I got faced with the work. I always had insecurities about me because I do rage out. And I don't know if people think I'm joking or exaggerating on here. But if you've ever seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you've never seen it, just be grateful. Because it gets brutal. And like I'm getting better at controlling it, but I still fucking like have no idea what to do. Like hundreds of thousands of us don't know what to do about the rage we feel like just because we're about to get our periods. It's just like the saying that out loud is wild, right? So it's a weird phenomenon at this point. I'm experimenting with ways. It's getting better and better and better. But for a long time, I accepted my dark side. I accepted these things about me that I was repressing or that I was unable to control or that I didn't want people to see unless right unless they also were that way. Some people who've seen my rage are only ones who could probably equivalent, you know? Good for you, man. Um, so with that being said, you know, sometimes you can start to integrate your shadow before you can accept it, right? So I embraced who I was and I thought, I'm just a deliverer of messages. I'm just going to be unhinged and go with the flow. And it's like, whoa, that's your menstrual flow. That's not the flow. Like, no, 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 no. Don't, no, 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 no. Go with that flow. But I didn't know, right? So before I knew, how could I work on my shadow self when I had no way to identify what the shadow self was? That sounds cool. I don't know. Well, who was Hermes? I hope he wasn't like a pedophile. A lot of them fucking Greeks were. Oh, the herald and messenger of gods. He had the shoes, right? He invented theft? No, invention, cunning, and theft. Egyptian Thoth. I have that deck on the table right now. So yeah, good call. A little bit of Hermes energy. And Hercules, he wears the glasses and has the wing shoes, right? So yeah. Anyways, that's kind of what I thought. I wasn't sure. I'm on another one of these cokes. I'm glad I started drinking again just so I can quit alcohol for Pisces season because I don't know that I can quit caffeine and alcohol and try to cut back on weed all in the same month. That sounds really hard. But at least I don't really smoke cigarettes or even my little black cloves anymore. So one step at a time. Um, it's all about resolve. It's all about what you're willing to put in, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to partake in, what you're willing to put up a fight for. That's like a big thing. Thought I was smart, thought I was right. I thought it better not to fight. I thought there was a virtue in always being cool. Very shadowy, isn't it? So who's sitting like this? I have one leg straight and the other one, like man folded over it, but I'm tapping the foot that is centered. It's very centered. It's like my legs are like this, and I feel like I don't sit like this. 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 6 fevers. Who's sitting like this? Tapping there. Who am I giving anxiety to? It's so funny. Very rhythmic tapping though. Maybe someone's practicing drumming or something. Um, Try to position your leg differently. Like I don't actually drum, but if you're struggling, to keep it feels like, yeah, you angle it this way, but angle your foot that way. Try that if you're struggling to get that down, that rhythm down. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, reining it back in. Where were we? The ads are about to go off. It was just a slight disruption. Integrating the shadow. Some people try to integrate it before they truly accept it. Yeah, I'm a bad person, so what? Um, Okay, well, I guess. But maybe you're a good person who does bad things. Nope, I just suck. I'm a piece of shit. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you're really integrating the shadow at that rate, but you're not necessarily accepting that you have bad qualities as much as you're just embracing them. And that's like the big difference. So sometimes if you set goals or you do have pure intentions or you are good inherently, then shall you fail to see that you have shadow work to do at all, it will be done to you or for you, rather. Um, and that's scary as fuck. So hopefully these readings will help y'all to avoid what I went through, which was like meeting Anubis myself and him being like, "Your heart is a feather. I can't believe you think you should die." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that." It's cute. 10 seconds. Gotta roll these ads. I'll be right back. We'll probably roll another one so we get a full hour of uninterrupted ads. And then we will get on with some tarot shit. Shadow self. Bitch. It's 222 somewhere, right? Oh, 1122. Love that too. I love it. See, told y'all. Somewhere it's 3 2. It was probably 321 for a second. Um, okay, so anyways. Nah. um, ooh, I speak military. Okay, that'd be 1222. This is 222. The military. So you're in Arizona? Go to Roswell. Be about it, bro. I'm sorry. Why am I harassing you right now? I don't know. Okay. You like it? Oh god, come on. I think it looks like you, but no, actually I had visions of this like monster creature that I really thought like this is kind of confusing and weird and a little gross. Maybe trigger warning right now. Graphic descriptions of sort of like self-inflicted wounds. I like this finger. I've probably never really like I don't know if you can even see it on here, but this your index finger. See that nice little scar that goes all the way the fuck up it? That's my witch finger. So the scar was actually it's getting smaller and smaller. It was from here to like here at one point, and now it's like from here to here. So somehow it just keeps getting smaller. I can almost close it all the way. Incredible because it was literally open. Shattered this bone. I had to have like metal rods in my finger just for it to like grow back and try to heal itself. But yeah, it was open like this. And I just like, because I hit concrete. And it did not hurt, nothing hurt. Nothing hurt the whole time. I mean, like even after I don't know, I wasn't even on that strong of pain pills or anything. I nothing hurt. And it was just open and I was having this vision of this fucking creature like watching me from the surgery room. Or, behind the surgical window. Yeah, because I was alone. They Jane Doe'd me. I walked in with a fucking passport and they Jane Doe'd me. Okay, so like I don't know what went on. Really. Like, how would I know? How would I know? I was so out of it. They pumped me full of drugs, I'm sure, but I wasn't like on a super amount of pain pills afterwards. I think they put me on oxys. And I was getting gassed up for all of this because they were repairing it for me. I was in the hospital when I was like seeing this creature. But it was like, okay, if you looked up Peter Gabriel, the Slipper Man. If you look up Peter Gabriel Slipper Man, you'll see this weird costume. So it was like that, like same color, same like grotesquity, same size. But imagine if all those little bubbles, I guess I could have linked you guys to the Google search at least. Um, like he was a weird guy. I love Peter Gabriel just like so much, by the way. So I was seeing this creature who looked a lot like that, but instead of those bubbles, it was like they all popped open and they were more like peaks of not fire and not any kind of material. It was like fleshy fire, but like it looked like Slipper Man, but as if he was inverted. Okay, like instead of the round bubbles, it was like they had ripped open and he had a bunch of peaks. Okay, Slipper Man made out of meringue. And I thought because I thought I was dead, and because I thought that I was like literally the whole process of like almost dying and being fucking yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I think my shadow is really, really evil, right? Like, I don't know if that was my shadow necessarily, but I felt bad for it. That was the thing. I saw it and I was so sad. It was just this lonely monster that consumed everything it touched and became one with like its loneliness. And I was like, damn, that's like so depressing. I feel bad for it. Like, I don't want it to be stuck here. But the whole thing was like, no, you're becoming it. Like, I was convinced that my experience in hell was gonna be that my whole body was about to turn inside out and I was gonna become that creature. And I was like, damn, bro, that's quite the punishment, man. That fucking blows. Like I was ready for eternity as this lonesome creature who was so consumed by things it became it and nothing was there. Holy fuck, that was one of the scariest moments of my life. But in reality, they gave me nitrous. I tripped super hard, went on the yellow submarine, and woke up with a finger. So that was also very cool. Um, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about our shadow selves, and I'm about to get into a general reading. Um, Collect the Menace. What do you mean by that? This was only 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Not even. Thank you for the follow, Wildgrass. So, if you're new here, hello. This pink box indicates that we're just chatting a little bit before the reading. Once the readings come on, it'll be the green screen. So if you want to pop back in a little bit, you can. I will be rolling more ads, so we get like longer time where we have uninterrupted ads. Oh, I got you. Okay, I thought. See, previous iterations sounds like this lifetime. Previous incarnations sounds like other lifetimes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I do only do general readings. If y'all are waiting for your turn, you don't get one. That's not the point. You know, we're all in this together. So, if you do want a personal reading, though, you can always go on my website, www.illimili.com, and book one. Probably. Probably. I think that's why the population is so high, is everyone wanted to come back and meet everyone they've ever met or be alive one last time or something before the planet explodes or whatever the fuck they're about to do to us like they did with the dinosaurs, most likely. These like slow waves of extinction, the slow waves of mass extinction are too slow. Nothing's changing. It's not putting a fire under people's asses. It's not making a dent in our daily actions or the supply and demand reaction and or anything. Did you see that that's what we were talking about? And that's what I was describing. It's like crazy, crazy. It just depends on what your shadow's hiding. And that's what we were talking about, but also what we'll get into. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a coincidence. I'm a goofball. And what we'll get into once I pull the cards out. I use my house. Thank you. Ooh, dyslexic witch. You sound like my kid. I love this. I'm not dyslexic, but my niece is. So, hello. We're gonna be getting into some tarot, Halloween Oracle. Once the screen switches, you'll know when it's time. The deck is out. I don't really like interruptions. I don't like being asked if you can get a reading. Once again, the only way you can get a personal reading is by booking one. So go ahead. Otherwise, we just do general stuff, and sometimes it does feel personal. Sometimes it does actually get personal. Hey, I am having a good night. I'm having a better night than I did today because the day was like lethargic and full of brain frogs and pissing me off that I felt very incapable of doing anything. And some people might call that being sick, and I would call it being a little fucking bitch, bro. What the fuck? I was like, I need to stream, man. I don't care. And I was popping. So thanks for coming, everybody. Before we get into it, though, I am gonna do 3 minutes of ads. It sounds obnoxious now, but then we'll have more uninterrupted time because even if I don't run the ads, we'll have pre-roll ads, and then we just get interrupted, and nobody likes that, especially me. So that's what it is. If you don't want to watch the ads, you can always subscribe, and you never have to. So yeah, we got 20 minutes. Let's add to that. We'll probably get 40, and then if y'all want to talk a little bit more, get to know me before we bust out the cards, we can try to reach our hour. Um, but it's up to y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, there might be a little bit of pepper in my teeth, but honestly, I don't have the time to just go floss it out, So here we are. I think in general, I would lean towards rogues and tricksters than I would gods and folklore because I feel like that's who I am, is like very much a rogue, unassociated, unidentified, and a bit of a trickster just because sometimes spirit, wants you to do things to get people's attention or mess with them or whatever, like just merry prankster energy, right? But I don't really truly know much about any Japanese gods or Japanese folklore. So I feel like that's not something I could really even choose between, but naturally I would go for rogues and tricksters. Why is it that once I busted out the tarot cards, everybody laughed? They were like chilling for the ad, and then they saw that was dressed like a clown and laughed. I don't know. It's kind of sad. Anyways, back with tarot. Ooh, Morphinage. Thanks for the follow. I lied. We're not starting just yet, but we're talking. Okay, we're doing shadow readings, y'all. Mary, were you listening to me say Merry Prankster and now you're saying Merry Moment, or did you just get here? Because either way, it makes me very happy that you said that, and it is a very merry moment. Oh, okay. And I just got a follow. You say it's been a few nights, and now you want to come up and be like, "Hey, been here, done that." Okay, no, I'm teasing. I'm very aggro today. Do not mind me. I think it's funny until I realize, like, all right, you're being a bit extreme and a bit harsh here, lady, and I'm no lady. Okay, thank you. Yay! I didn't even get started yet, so good timing. Anybody else need to do anything? Light your incense, get your snacks, drink some water, go pee. Yeah, do what we gotta do because we're getting into shadow readings. I'm packing a freshie. If anybody wants to smoke with me, I live in a place that's legal, and so Twitch makes it legal for me, which is actually really fucking nice of them to do. So yeah, this one was gifted to me. I never owned a bong before, and my cousin was moving, and she was like, "Hey, can you hold on to these till we get to our new place?" And then when she got there, she was like, "You know what? I only really want one of them back. You can keep the other one because I got so many bongs." I'm like, "Ah, it's my first bong." So that's really cool. It was really nice. And I love her. Okay, so um yeah. Yeah, okay, congrats on the 6. I go back and forth. I'm my most toxic relationship in life is definitely with cigarettes because oh my god, do I love smoking cigarettes. You would think like alcohol, I'm in a pretty toxic relationship with because who isn't? 'Cause it's alcohol. But the way that I do not really care what I'm drinking, but crave cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go to the bar or a restaurant that serves alcohol, I will drink it because that is the atmosphere that I'm in and it's there and that's what people do. Sometimes I like to feel normal in social situations or just less ashamed to be myself, either or. So I add alcohol. But there's never a time where I'm like, or there's very rarely a time where I'm like, I need a drink. I could really use a drink. It's more of a joke thing, oh, drink about it, and then I don't. People are like, I really want to get drunk right now, and then I don't. So like, it's not very deep. Cigarettes though, I'd smell one and be like, gimme, and then I'll be like, God damn, this is disgusting, and hand it right back. But I still really like, I wish I was a cigarette smoker. I just know it's bad for me, and I don't have the best health insurance, so I'm like, fuck it, I can't. Um, nice. Um, sounds like a nice thing to do. But yeah, I get it. I was smoking cloves for a bit since quitting cigarettes, and then I bought the wrong kind. I bought like clove cigars, but they're all technically cigars, so I didn't realize I was buying like little mini clove cigars. I haven't even tried one yet because I was like, you know what? I guess I'm done smoking. Um, so yeah, we're all gonna do a dry Pisces season, and that's gonna be very hard. That because that is like the time that people want to drink, the end of the year, end of the cycle, last leg of winter. But everybody, we're gonna listen. We're just gonna. To be fair though, my cloves, I think they come in packs of 12, and it would take me like 2 to 3 months to finish a pack. Like even when I smoke, I'm not really smoking that much. I'm just not that into cigarettes, but I am romanticizing the hell out of them in my head at every hour of the day and every time I smoke one. Okay. You ever thought you were on death row or like thought you were dying and you had what you thought was your last cigarette? You maybe have understood the depth and the romance with something so sinisterly sweet. Okay. So, anyways, good for you. That's a good thing. I started smoking really young. I was just like stressed and curious, I suppose. Yes. I was very high energy too until today. And today I went flatline and was like, if I'm fucking sick, I'm gonna be pissed. But this is the best I've felt all day, oddly enough. Even though before when I would try to get up or sit up, I'd have coughing fits. I'd get lightheaded. I would to like blow my nose 100 times. I was worried I'd have to keep taking frequent breaks tonight to like blow my nose. Like that's how bad it was today. But since sitting here, it's the best I have felt all day. Oddly enough, getting ready wasn't it was a challenge. Wasn't necessarily as easy, but this I knew I needed to. And once again, a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago, I don't know, I had put out there this message, and I think I heard someone say it in a reading recently because I remember being reminded that I said that. Um, that, not expressing your emotions is making you sick. And so I'm like, damn, is that why I'm the only person in my life that's sick right now? Like, I'm the only one feeling anything. I'm the only one holding back their feelings. And I like don't feel good. But everyone else seems to be fine and non-symptomatic. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's the chemicals, maybe it's the allergies, maybe it's the weather fluctuating. But I think at the end of the day or the beginning, what it really is me holding back my feelings. And so I bring that up because I am, okay, let's identify my own shadow. As I mentioned, or explained rather, what was your question? Thank you for staying alive. I don't know how long you were gone, or what the question was, but we're doing tarot now. Um, I did choose, like, at length, the rogues and stuff. Why are you going back to that? We talked about it very in depth. And then you didn't say, okay. And you didn't say anything this whole time. Now's not the time though. Yeah, we missed that ship. The ship has sailed. It was rogues. Um, so my shadow self, as described, is like this hideous inverted monster. Um, Keynotes was loneliness. Like that's the only thing I really remember. It was not necessarily misery, but it was just pure loneliness and feeling like no one would accept them, right? So that's what I keep hidden or kept hidden. I think that since that experience, I've learned to kind of figure out why I felt that way in the first place and accepted my shadow, addressed or even found my inner child, recognized those wounds and started healing them. Um, and just keep, working your way up through the ages until you catch up with yourself. And that's like the best you can do. So I started my shadow work probably like it was that time 3.5 years ago where I almost died. I saw this when they showed me the chambers and they showed me the bodies and they showed me the future and they showed me like every possible outcome and every truth or not truth or deception. I don't know. Um, the control came out on its side. Zombie. Like, did somebody set me up for that? I don't know. They were talking about releasing lasers that can dictate what you think, literally. 6 months before that happened, so it's like very questionable the origins of any of it. But people will tell you I have no reason to be paranoid and there's nothing going on and that I made all of this up, right? That's even more odd. Where do you think it goes and who do you think they use it on? Because someone with a medical rap sheet like mine is probably premium choice, especially if I have the audacity to get up on the internet and talk about it. They love confessing what they do. They love talking about what they do. It's like a serial killer getting caught. They love being at the scene of the crime. They love that I just express myself in this way. Truly. That's my shadow, right? Being probably equally as evil as the people I work against. That's the type of stuff that you face when you face your shadow. And that's why you see total ugliness. And that's why you see yourself as this weak or grotesque form, you know? So even though my form was grotesque, because of course I project so much beauty that I most definitely hide the ugliness. I do hide the neediness, the loneliness, the absolute fear in myself and banish it to be alone for eternity, right? Without if I can't accept that part of myself. So I'm feeling like a sense of a lot going on. And not just like a lot going on, but like a lot going into stuff, a lot going into stuff. I don't want to imagine anything anymore, you know. I've been struggling with this thing where I'm the intuitive one. I'm the one who has predicted things that happen to people up to like a year later. They're like, damn, you called it. And it's like, right, I don't know. It's the cards. It's not. I'm a time traveler, I think. And like, right, do it. Treat your fucking self. So it's one of those things where gosh, I really don't like being interrupted during the readings. I'm sorry. It's like lovely to hear from people, but if it's yeah, the off-topic stuff is a little unsettling. It does feel like there's a lot going on, a lot going into things, and I personally am getting sick of spinning stories and creating narratives, not just within myself or for myself, but even on here to a great extent where intuitively in the messages and the readings and everything I hear and what I hear from other people, what I say in myself when I get in the seat and what I genuinely believe and what has been accurate for so many other people, I can no longer sit here and say, yes, this is definitely it. This is definitely happening because my 3D reality has a serious lack in it. And I am searching high and low for my blockages. What parts of my shadow self have I not addressed? What part of me am I hiding? What needs to be integrated? What have I done? What do I need to do to get out of this rut, this illusion, this delusion? What is it? What lesson am I still needing to learn to be able to move on from everything that's been dragging for the past 6+ months? That is my main that's my light self looking at my shadow being like, what is it that I'm hey what is it that I am needing to do to be able to get it done? It's that energy of knowing what it is, knowing the path, knowing the purpose, knowing the vibe, knowing the time is right, and still just being like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna fucking forget it. I'm just gonna put it down and say, I guess I'm still just getting started and working on myself. Same old, there just has to be something, right? So the tarot saying, hold on, it's almost here, blah, blah, blah. It's very hard, very hard. And I want to be transparent because these messages, I can already fucking tell. I can already fucking tell what it's about to say. And it's about to give us a bunch of good fucking news, to be honest with you. And part of me just isn't buying it anymore. And that's a lot coming from me. Okay, I am the hope, the bottom of that fucking box, okay? 11111. Listen, I'm over it. It's not that I'm over tarot, but there's my shadow side coming out. I have always really believed 1111111. I've always really believed in what I do and what I've done. And there has been too much confirmation to where even when I have denied myself, there is there is an abundance of evidence that is like, no, there's how else how else could you know some of the things I've said to people? There's just it's blows my own mind because I try to stay humble and I try to stay scientific and I try to say it could be anything. It's definitely the squids. Um, but it's like, what are you gonna do, really? So I trust it. I wouldn't get up here and put my whole life, reputation, and safety, livelihood on the line for this shit. If I didn't truly believe it, who the fuck would do that? Y'all act like, what, am I rich? No. From this? No. Do I get sponsored or paid well or any, like, people hardly, this is the most people I've had on my stream all week. And it's not even as many as I had 3 minutes ago. So, now, it ain't like some kind of glamorous, cool influencer fucking, I want to do this because it's lucrative. I do this because I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in myself, but I believe in spirit. I believe in the connections. I believe in the channeling. I believe in the messages I receive because, once again, it's helped everyone else. I have a hard time letting it help me, though, because that's my shadow. Being like, can you really trust yourself, though? And it's like, other people trust me. It's like, yeah, but not everyone you've ever met ever trusted you. And it's like, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I can't trust myself. Should I ask this other person and trust them instead? How is that? Like it just shut again. Like it just shut. We're doing shadow readings, by the way. That's why I'm talking about this right now. So if it's sounding familiar and it sounds like your own inner monologue, it's because we all have a very similar shadow that we're hiding. And I think for the most part, you will see common themes and shadows, but some people are truly insidious back there. And some people are truly scared. And some people are truly, whatever. But for me, yeah, truly lonely. At the end of the day, truly paranoid. I try to be more upfront now that I recognize these things. Once again, integrating and accepting. But for a long time, it was just like a paranoid, but in a justified way instead of like paranoid in a sit down and sort your thoughts way. That sounds kind of cool. I would really like it. Yeah, and if any of y'all dig this stuff, I know it's slow lately. I promise you, when it all comes together, it'll all come together. Spring is on its way. I'm always way more productive when the weather is nice and the days are longer, and when I'm not sick all the time, obviously. But if you want to, you can join my website. It's www.iliamillie.com. I know I say it a lot, and I guess I could write it down. But you can become a member for free, and there are forums. So if you ever want to post stuff like that, there's forums, and you can join and you can share, and it'll just be a community of us. So it's just like an email address and a password, and you just have to make a note of who you are. Otherwise, I won't approve you if you don't say you're from Twitch or put a name in just an email. So oh my gosh, y'all are on. We're on so many different subjects right now. What is the tree of life? Yeah, so that what you're saying about being more caring and working harder, um, definitely I think ties in with the shadow. Once again, it's like you're hiding the fact that you, you know, wish that you could care more, but you live in a cold, cruel world and you reflect that back and you're like, no, I don't care. Feelings, fuck feelings, or whatever. Um, well, I don't see why you have to ask questions. Why don't you just watch along and draw? Like just be in the moment, do it now. Be the way that I am and use my aura against me. Against paper for me. Okay. even if I gave you any of it, I don't think you could ever lock me down to a page unless you wanted. You can see it now, right? That I'm on there. That's yes. Um, this ain't no picture of Dorian Gray, but I do love me some Oscar Wilde. That's silly to think. I can see your room. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I can. You have an actual drawing desk though, or no? It's flat. It's not like one of those angled ones. It's pretty flat, maybe white, and the paper that you have is like old school. Because I don't know if you were talking about Harry Potter or if you were hating Harry Potter, but there's like a color to it. It's not necessarily white paper. Um, just to get, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing right now, and I see my own aura coming through and being this kind of purple mess on the paper. Oh, maybe that's why I'm seeing the white and the graininess is because it's digital. That would make sense because I'm like this high. It's like a fucking high tech art table and old school paper that I see. So that's really funny. Um, that would make sense. And also, I don't want to peer into your space. Oh, okay. Well, shit. Anyways, you can ask questions. I'll answer them when I answer them, best I can say. So, anyways, this is actually going to be good news, but it seems like okay. So, if as Lumpy Space Princess mentioned, you needing to be more caring and needing to be more compassionate or whatever the fuck, that's your shadow selves. Like that's awesome. That's who I am as a person. I have to be less that because my shadow self's lonely and feels drained and hated by everyone. So obviously, I need to do less for people because I'm giving too much of myself. But because I'm seeing this good news or these good cards in this reading, it's almost as if a lot of you are unlocking a very positive side of yourself when you do look at your shadow. And I'm not saying anything about any of you as individuals because there's 10 people and I'm only talking to a few of you. And so there's no way I can know you or accuse you of anything specifically, right? So I just feel like a lot of you probably project sort of a bad attitude. You might have like unaligned political beliefs for some reason. Why are you fucking even on this channel? But also, you're trying to learn something. That's the thing. You also don't really know why you're on this channel. Maybe you've met me or know me, and so you're like curious because you're like, what the fuck is this? But then once you start, you're really into it. But this it's the same reason I attract the Joe Rogan crowd, right? Like that kind of this like perception, this outward projection of not necessarily machoism because it can apply to any gender that you present. Okay, so it's not machoism like masculinity, machoism, but like can I say machismo instead? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Where you put on this front of being a tough kind of uncaring 22222 on the pre-roll clock. Get this bread person, like grind only. I just want to work, sleep, eat, fuck, and whatever. And that's what you put up front. So what you're hiding in the shadows is actually probably a lot of good stuff. Whereas I am or was more or less, yeah, I think that would make sense actually. I would have to like really look back at my notes to remember which archetype sigma is, but I know it's like it's not quite gamma, but it's not quite beta, right? It's sigma's kind of in the middle or whatever, and delta's like even worse than beta or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. We talked about this very briefly on the stream, but yes, I think that sounds right. Lots of sigma males. Um, Craving identity, craving community, right? But it's just like, oh, I'm such a lone wolf. Yeah, well, you just want to pack. Like that's what you're hiding back there is that you're sad about being a lone wolf instead of you being like, I don't need anyone. You're like, I wish I had someone. Like that's obvious. No, not alpha. Well, alpha shadows are probably like way worse and way darker. The sigmas have the soft shadow hiding. Alphas, I feel like project this um, people pleasing sort of persona that they are hiding something darker, most alphas. That's, you know, that's like why mine was so ugly. I swing somewhere between sigma gamma alpha personally, maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying, where it's like almost too transparent to be alpha but not quite living the life of a gamma, because gamma lives are like much more fluid and maybe have a certain level of success that I feel like I evade in a sense. So I swing somewhere about there myself, which is probably why it would make sense, you know. LOL, they are. um, all of these words are symbols of, a Greek alphabet and used across many different subjects, such as for science, speaking of phrase, and also for psychology, categorizing personalities. So, anyways, a lot of your shadow selves are actually like really sweet and somber, and you project this like terrible, hateful kind of start a war. In fact, maybe you came here just to tease me or make fun of me for some reason. Sounds kind of weird and pathetic, honestly. I'm not sure if that's an intuitive message or just a call out in general. But if that was your intent, oh, it was 22222. Oh God, somebody was really insidious intentions, and then was actually kind of into it. Forgot what they were doing here. Forgot that they were kind of supposed to hate me. Forgot that they were looking for holes and trying to poke holes, and started listening to what I was saying and became part of that rhythm and probably just left. Yeah. No, I know. I know. It's impressive. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, a lot of your shadows are better people than you are, or that you would think. Because bottom of the deck, dawn, the light after the darkness. When you have your dark night of the soul, it will scare you how much you love people. It will scare you how much you care. It will scare you how much you're afraid to die. It will scare you how much you are like never right about anything, kind of. When faced with death, I wanted to embrace it, but I had a hard time fighting for my life. And they knew that. Whether it was some dick with a fucking laser gun or Anubis himself, they knew that. That I was too weak to fight for my spot in living. Well, there, yeah, I told you you would get your answers if you were just listening. Um, I just kept surrendering. You know, I was like, oh, if I have to do that, then I don't want it. And they're like, well, what if you had to do this, and this? And it would mean that you did this or save this and blah. Okay, well, that maybe I could do. And it's like, well, what if these were the consequences? And it'd be like, well, it's the right thing to do. And I had to like go through these weird challenges, like day in and day out for probably 30 days straight at the very minimum. Okay. Because I never got a shadow reading, never talked to anyone about my shadow self, never fucking recognized that that was even a thing, right? I just was like living open basket case PMDD without realizing it and letting my shadow be unhinged with me. Like no context, no terminology, right? That's what you're seeing. That's what you remember. That's why you can't let go of whatever the fuck I didn't said. Scrying, intuition. You think I can't fucking see the other sides of these computer screens when I literally described the dude's desk. Come on, man. Don't make me say your fucking name, you piece of shit. Go take care of it. That's weird, right? That's weird, right? So again, I scry, so don't spy. Good night. Yes, baby. You have no idea. It was crazy, but it wasn't inner. That's what freaked me out because now I feel like anything that I can see definitely comes from my mind's eye. Even if I see it as a projection, there's a certain level of dimension that comes with a vision. Okay. So, like anything from my mind's eye feels very 2D. So I might be able to visually see something as if I were looking at a screen, but it's faint and I know it's not really truly there. This shit was like, okay, I am seeing all of this like in my space, in my room. I close my eyes and this is really happening. I hear these voices, I feel these objects, I feel people touching me. Like this was like very much 3D immersive. It was fucking terrifying. Fucking terrifying. But it was very much on the outside. So like that was a big difference. Is like my intuition at my inner university, all good. I learned so much. That's what I convey to all you as I bring you into that place. But this shadow, this dark night of the soul, that was 30 days in fucking hell. I served a long sentence in those 30 days, man. That was a fucking I fucking touched the sun or something. I don't even know. I don't even know what. Yeah. I didn't sleep for like 30 days. Didn't eat anything but like a peach and a jalapeno for like 2 weeks. I don't even know how I survived. 2 bottles of water in a matter of a month. I think I filled it up two, maybe three times. Had a gallon jug I didn't even drink. If I even got it. I don't even remember buying it. Like, yeah, no, I kind of went insane. But again, it was like being on the verge of death is what allowed me to walk through these planes and these other dimensions and see reality for what it really is without our minds tricking us or perceiving us into seeing it the way that our human reality is based. Well, yes and no. The potential was awake. It awakened the expert. I'm not a professional. Look at me right now. I got clown makeup on. I'm smoking weed, wearing clown makeup. I ain't no professional. I'm a professional clown, maybe. Fewer than you might think. Um, but it awakened the expert because I was already reading tarot. I was already well into reading tarot. I was already very deep into my spiritual journey. I had already practiced necromancy and went to Catholic school for all that time. At this point, because this was only 3.5 years ago, I was well into my verses. I was well into it. I was well respected amongst the communities I was working with, but have since distanced myself from because of what I was doing. Um, so it awakened the expert where it gave me it and it. I was like graduation to even survive that, which I still calculate all the time. I'm like, how and why? Who the fuck saved my life? That sounds crazy. There's no way. I just feel like a normal human body, there's just no way they would have been able to even live. It just doesn't sound right to me. I had so many broken bones and I hit so many places, so many important, sensitive places on my body. It just blows my mind. And to have done such little damage in the long run, like, unless I'm literally in a coma hallucinating all of this life, um, y'all would have to tell me, right? Is that how this works? Is that how the Truman Show works? It's like once you realize it's a set, you can walk off. Wake me up if I'm in a coma, okay? But the injuries I sustained, I got by practically unscathed. The scar is shrinking. Crazy. Highly do not recommend that. I would say take the lessons when they come verbally instead of trying to experience every single one because oh my god, you become an experiment and they like that so much. Whether it's the fucking military or aliens or both. Who fucking knows? Um, they love when you're willing to experiment with them, so don't. Oh, you're so paranoid. You didn't. That's where we're at right now. I didn't know you were still here. Maybe you're just back. My Halloween Oracle is my deck that I use for necromancy, but I also use it for shadow readings because my time spent in the underworld during this dramatic and hallucinatory expression of that astral plane in my waking reality certified my ability to talk to the dead, even though it's something I practiced when I was a kid because I used to talk to Jesus. Like, it just doesn't make sense to keep denying that Catholics are witches. You know, it's so ironic too. Oh, I love snakes. Oh, I love snakes. They sure as fuck are. That's how I learned necromancy. They hang a dead body of Jesus in all the classrooms and say, "Talk to this guy." Like, what the fuck? You realize you just, you just taught me necromancy. You do a hand symbol and then you say the names and you fucking say incantations and prayers, like rhythmic rhyming sometimes, and creeds and excuse me, you just and then we enacted his death year in and year out. I mean, come on. I have been doing this since I was like 5 years old. I have had a fucking very strong relationship with Jesus, and I did not understand the depth. Did not understand that. And then we drink blood to represent his wine. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We drink wine to represent his blood. They're witches, bro. And they call themselves Christians, and it's fine. But, like, I mean, Christians, have you not read the Bible? Jesus sounds like a big pimping kind, okay? Right. Yeah, that's true. Eating flesh is weird. Somehow the wine thing was weirder because alcohol in church, when so many religions are like anti-alcohol, and the Catholics are like, no, 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 bring it to mass. Like, that's the most like, it's like the witchiest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's so funny. But it's also endearing because I rejected Catholicism for so long, having grown up in the church and being forced to go and forced to do it. Um, and even, even my parents, somebody asked me, "Oh, why would anyone do that to you?" And I like remembered, like, "Oh, yeah, my grandma was like really dead set on it," and my parents were like, "You know what? Fucking fine." It was we lived really close by, and it was just like a big deal for us to be raised Catholic. My parents didn't really care. I don't think they didn't really have religious influences as much as they came from religious backgrounds, and so they just like were like, okay, if you're gonna like care so much, sure. Um, but it ended up being like a nice little community to have. 'Cause a lot of really different people went to that school, different religions, different backgrounds, different cultures, but all not even all Christian, but just all seeking religious acceptance, right? So it was kind of a very beautiful and unique experience. And I studied necromancy every single day for 12 years straight. Yeah. Yeah. Then I went to public high school and did drugs. So I found all the other stuff when I was a teenager, right? Doing psychedelics and whatnot. Talking to aliens, connecting with higher beings, la 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 la. Learning science, once again, rejecting religion, rejecting Christianity. But then in all of my growth and sobriety and practice and all this, it comes back to that being my religion day one. Catholicism, absolutely yes. Yes. Could say 10 out of 10 for me. Really glad it went down that way at this point. That is hilarious, right? I give very much 19-year-old energy, I think. It's insane how many of these cute young baristas hit on me every time I get coffee. And I'm not talking about, hey, how's your day? I'm talking like, they were like, I really like your everything. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, ah, okay. Like I know I'm ignorant to that stuff, especially if it's like a woman. But these younger girls, I'm like, wow, you like are like, how old do you think I am? Like, thank you. Wow. So I still got it, or everyone thinks I'm 19. It's hard to say. Hard to say. So, damn, we got 6 minutes to the pre-roll. So honestly, at least we have the cards drawn. We haven't even really got into them yet, other than the scrying. So it's so crazy, right? Um, How we all doing tonight? Like, it's gonna be a cool reading. Um, we were just setting up some background info. We were getting into more shadow self, getting in depth. I was showing you my shadow side because I was also blasting somebody, right? And you might feel a little on blast. And once again, we're connecting to a pretty positive side of ourselves based on what I'm seeing here and based on the typical crowd that I draw. As a healer, you're gonna attract unhealed people, and so they're not always gonna show you the best versions of themselves because the whole point is you're there to help them find themselves. And I think that being hot and cool, in addition to being an understanding, compassionate healer, is what gives me manic pixie dream girl vibes. Like, truly, at the end of the day, like, that is kind of what I am, right? Like, it is like I come in your life, I do magic, everything feels better, and then I disappear because I got other shit to do and other people to heal and all that. Yeah. Who heals the healer? The healer does. Okay, so sometimes I wish someone else could, but all I'm doing in seeking the healing from them is helping them heal themselves, maybe? Okay. That shit gets deep. Why don't y'all talk to me? And I don't mean on the stream. I mean, if you're watching and and you just still don't talk to me. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think the Catholics were burning witches at the stakes. There were Christians burning witches at the stakes, but I don't think it was the Catholics. It was like the Protestants, wasn't it? Like, that's the whole thing. It was like the very opposite of everything. Like, I think that Catholics actually are like the standout Christians, that all the other Christians are like, well, you're not real Christians. And then like Catholics who don't recognize what it is that they're doing are like in total denial of the fact that they're fake Christians because the devotion to Jesus is very real. And honestly, Catholicism is probably the most realistic take of Christianity. You know what I mean? It's like the most realistic just based on what we know about Jesus having like 12 men that he hung out with regularly who he convinced to leave their wives and jobs to follow him and hang out and eat with him, perform miracles with him. I'm thinking they're selling drugs at this point, right? And like maybe fucking, but also actively seeking to overthrow the government because literally six of them were nationalists, radical nationalists, basically terrorists who were opposing the Zionists, I want to say, or like they were like defending Jerusalem against whoever was trying to come get it from them at the time. I don't know. So it's just like, what the fuck who do you think Jesus was? Like, that's what's so weird. It's like, I think he would have been getting drunk. Yeah. I think he was doing even harder drugs than alcohol, actually. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the fuck y'all like nothing wrong with being Protestant or Jehovah or whatever, but like, is Jehovah's Witness even Christian? I don't know. There's just a lot of really uptight, conservative Christian religions where it's like, when did you get Jesus flipping tables about taxes as something mild mannered and, you know, well behaved? That's what blows me. It's like, what were you guys talking about? What Bible, what stories? This can't all be the same Jesus, right? Like, yeah, they're all interpretations, but yeah, but it's like, it's funny how they will all have this text, but then the set of rules that come with the interpretations is what's really baffling at the end of the day. Fuck yeah, why not? Jesus was friends with everyone. Jesus was friends with lepers. Why wouldn't he be friends with drunks? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to think that he was. That's what I'm saying. How, and that's where my conceptualization it struggles is because like the way that people use the same text, even if each Bible has slight variations, Exactly, exactly, exactly. And Catholicism happens to be a pretty fucking disorganized organized religion because they clearly don't even know what the fuck religion they are. Gotta love them witches, bro. So that shit's so funny to me. Oh my god, we have like 30 seconds until the pre-rolls go off somehow. So we'll come back and we'll do the shadow stuff. This is all shadow. It's all relevant. Don't worry. If you're sitting here, you're learning, you're embracing, you're learning about me, you're learning about the cards, you're learning about this concept, and we're going to get into the reading, and I'm going to keep explaining it, and we're going to keep talking. If y'all want, we can do chat mode and play a couple ads in a row before we get back to tarot, but I gotta go. Let me know. Okay, so I find it interesting too that I am eating so much. Like, I had a proper dinner. I made soup, Man, the soup was like, it was hodgepodge, my gosh, but it was so good. Noodles, protein, it was vegan, delightful. I had so much of it, and since I started the stream, I can't stop eating. And it's probably because I'm low energy today that every chance I get, I need to be putting more energy into my body. It's not always this much work, or I don't always need to be replenishing that much, but because I'm having such a low energy day, I'm noticing that every single break I've grabbed food. Um, it could be it's a different strain than I usually smoke. 'Cause like I said, I don't like most of the time I'm streaming. I don't eat every single time I take a break. I do think it's because I'm low energy. That it's burning fast. So that's okay though. I want to be doing this, and this is the best that I have felt all day. So like I'm happy to be here. I was eating really light the past few days, and then finally today, like I said, I made this badass soup. So fucking good. And it was filling. It was I ate so much. I ate so much. I hadn't felt like doing any cooking the last few days. We've been having snacks or I ate out once, you know. Um just something cheap, but still. So anyways, scrying at the bottom of the deck. There is no lying when there's scrying. So quit crying and start less spying. Yes, less spying. Um That's how I've been the past few days, and today I feel like it's unleashed. The hunger has been unlocked. I am now hungry for it. Okay, so we're looking at if you're just tuning in, thank you for being here. I am the stacks with the decks. Right now we're using the Halloween Oracle to look at our shadow selves. If you want to start this reading over, you can learn a whole bunch of personal information about me that you probably don't really need to know, but it'll make you feel more comfortable with the way that you are going to be exposed. I do not do personal readings. Please don't ask, and please not to interrupt the reading, the stream, the consciousness. Once the box goes from green to pink, you can ask as many questions and get as off topic as you possibly want. But now I'm about to get into this stuff, so you should stick around, catch a vibe. We can discuss it after, later, all night if you want to. But we're about to get into something very weird. I can tell. My I mostly do necromancy by trade and by day. It's my preferred method of communication with anything and anybody, really. And this is the deck I use to talk to the deceased. But right now, we're just doing shadow self readings. So if you feel like you've been going through your dark night in the soul, the bad news is you probably are. But the good news is you've gotten this far and now you found me. So you shouldn't have much more to worry about, except for that it's all of your worries. Okay, so are you ready now? Are you ready now? I like smoking weed for this stuff for a reason, you know what I'm saying? Got me lifted, shifted, higher than the ceiling. Ooh, it's the ultimate feeling. Got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Show you how you get so high. This bong, actually, right? No, it's spirit for sure. In spirit for sure. This just quiets my own personal self down enough to kind of go with the flow and not think too much about what comes out and let the cards be read themselves. And it tastes like freedom. And it's just one of those things where so many places in the world you can't do so much. And like, I live in a place where it's just legal to smoke weed. I'm gonna smoke the hell out of this weed. Like, that's a core belief of mine, I think. Same with like everything I do, right? Just like being who I am radically all the time and in public. Some people are so kind. Oh, don't get me started on that song. I love how my weed rant is what set somebody off. Now I feel like since we talked about Jesus, I should light a Jesus incense, or since we're talking about the depths of our souls, I should light a Temples of India incense, or if anybody says a random zodiac sign, I'll grab one of those. What do y'all think? Also, no, this is gonna get intense. I was like, I should roll an ad, but actually, I should probably only do this. Jesus is not a Virgo. Jesus is an Aries, and everybody thinks he's a Pisces. But I think he came back during Pisces season. So he was born in Aries and died a Pisces. And I think he is the representation of living the entire life cycle in one lifetime. Yeah, let's light a Jesus incense. You're right. You're a Virgo, but you're right. Let's go with Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm so sassy tonight. It's not just you, I promise. You'd be like, oh damn, she's going hard. No, 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 no. On everybody all fucking night long. I'm just like going way too in. That's why I put on clown makeup, because I knew I was just in a mood. Yeah. That'll be next. I'll do Virgo. Maybe I'll do Virgo next. My partner likes that one too. I try to use ones that they don't like as much. True, it's fine. I know Virgo's like that, and it's so crazy because it's like y'all can be so wrong about something or literally know nothing about it and just be like, no, I'm really sure this is it. And it's like, for a literal fact, it isn't. And Virgos will just be like, yeah, and lie straight to your face. And I don't understand how Tauruses have the reputation for being stubborn when Virgos are literally right there. But they are so stubborn that they've convinced everyone else that they're not stubborn. I don't know. That's mind fuck, man. Y'all crack me up. But I love them at the same time. Did I nail it or not? Like it's so like, but beauties, absolute beauties. There's something about being born on August 29th. Look at all the people who have birthdays that day. They're literally all fucking beautiful. Like, okay, Michael Jackson was born a very beautiful man. I'm not saying he died one, but so close. Still so pretty. Still so extraordinary. Yes. Yes. All right, so we're getting into this reading. We're getting to our shadow self because honestly, we're exposing your shadow side right now is that you're not always right. And that's the thing is you project being right, but your shadow self knows that you're insecure about some of the decisions you make and that you know in your heart of hearts that you are sometimes wrong, even if it's not about the surface level arguments or topics that you would randomly get into an argument about. It's more on life decisions or how you are as a person or how you handled a situation that you're like, was I wrong? Am I wrong? And that's why your projection is often, I'm right. So, yeah, welcome to the dark side. Welcome to the shadow self readings. I told y'all you were going to get ripped apart. That's why I exposed myself before we started. Now we got 20 minutes on the clock. Let's do it. So, the big three we got going on right now is spider, community, and networking. No, web weaving. It's weird that I hesitated saying networking because I was like, that's not right. It's web weaving in my mind and was like convinced otherwise. It represents networking though. So, community and web weaving. I often think of the design of the universe in relation to the spiders, the seven of discs in the Guardian of the Night tarot. Also, like John Lennon always seems to be represented with the spider. And it's funny, y'all walked in just as I picked up the cards, by the way. The three people who just joined, you just start, like, I literally just started. So it's all been on the table for a minute. And, like, this is the time. We don't do personal readings, but hear me out, just vibe. Joy, rejoicing in the present moment. Mummy, change. Here's the thing. You may have been laying down groundwork. You may have been really celebrating your small victories, and yet things are still going to change. You might think that you are where you're supposed to be or where you're meant to be, and you're actually happy and you like the place you're at, and yet things are going to change. And because of that, there is going to be mourning. There will be a grace period of sadness. There will be a lot to be let go of or unrealized, or just the perceptions will be changed and things will downgrade in a sense for a second. But then once more, you'll find heaven at your door. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I'm saying anymore, but all I can think about is how hard how hard it is to love now. Something I don't know. I saw this heaven right here, and it's almost like I started rhyming, right? But it was almost like a channeled message, as if someone else was. So if you lost a loved one, let me tell you, if you lost a loved one, and I'm talking lover, okay, because it was just Valentine's Day, you're still upset. You think I look like I'm crying, you're crying too. If they freestyled or wrote poetry, that literally was specifically for you. You have to, I'm seeing the short hair, um, curly short hair, maybe sort of darker skin, and like that nice, the clean edges. I don't know if this is, it could be like a famous deceased person because that comes up, but it felt really personal. So, and it was when I looked at this that I broke out into a rhyme, and this says, "When a cardinal appears in your yard, it is a visitor from heaven." So I feel like if somebody recently did see the cardinal, the first card that came out from this deck tonight was Night Song, Hidden Talents. And I bought this the other day when I was buying flowers. I thought it was somebody's funeral. It was last Wednesday. And I went somewhere asking if somebody died because I felt this vibe like I should buy flowers, and it was a Jacob, and nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about, and people started doubting me and casting their doubts upon me, and now it just feels like any moment it can all come together and mean something, because exactly a week later it felt like where I needed to be. So maybe you right now, or if the funeral was so recent as to it being last Wednesday or something like that will be you, right? So that was a message from Cardinal. Maybe there was a Cardinal Opet, like a, is that a religious figure? No, Cardinal Bishop something, like some a name like that. Cardinal Bishop something said that. I think he was a rapper. Cardinal, I don't know the song though because I don't think I know the song. Um, I'm hearing something about Project Jamaica, but I don't know. I feel like we're talking to somebody's personal person, so it's really hard to affirm anything or like look something up because I just don't think it's like that. But yeah, that's what these cards are. So sorry, that was a little disruptive. I think they left actually. Um, very Moulin Rouge vibes. My gift is my song. But once again, this was the first card that was laid down. Night Song, Hidden Talents. So you might be building this life that you love, and then something changes drastically, and you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? Um, but it's also because you were able to do this, because you were able to weave a web, because you were able to rejoice in the present moment and be kind of like who you are at all times, no matter what was happening, is why the changes are coming in. And in scrying being the bottom of the deck, I shuffled it and it still ended up at the bottom. Um, Intuition has been strong Aquarius season. So I'm having a listen, we got like one more day. It's technically the 17th in most places at this point. So Aquarius season ends on the 18th. Pisces season starts the 19th. Tomorrow is the Saturday is the last day where intuition's been very strong. Okay, like very strong for Aquarius season. I'm not entirely sure why, other than Aquarius is a very honest sign, and we were reminded constantly month after month about big sign energy. And that's not just going to be apparent in people, but if the energy is going to be strong or have a powerful motive message or mantra this year, then of course we will feel those upticks during the fixed sign season. So that was Taurus season, Leo season, Scorpio season, and now Aquarius season. So the intuition is on 10. Use talk to your kids, man. They start saying some freaky shit. You'll be like, "How did you know that?" And they'll be like, "What?" and not even realize what they say because the intuition is just like on 100. And I keep encouraging people with that message. When it comes to my own intuition, my shadow self reminds me of those days in my kitchen where I would look out the window and wonder if someone was watching from the creepy gym next door or whatever. I was feeling like I was hearing thoughts. So, my shadow goes to this place of, can I really trust my intuition? And it's like, well, everyone else does. How could you not trust your own? It's like, well, I've been in situations before, but Anubis wanted to weigh my heart. So, like, whatever, it was all for something. Um, but at to a certain extent, it's like some of the things I hear, it's like, am I supposed to still be believing this? I see no evidence, right? So I get that a lot of people might be struggling with that concept right now. But for me, I had to dial back what I was giving to people, basically. And then on the other hand, for I think most of you, you have to dial up what you're giving to. And you have to recognize where you're putting those efforts and give to the right places, I think is really what it is. Um, but yeah, once you do get a hang of things and once you do feel comfortable, that's when change comes in. I just got this weird pain. It's like I never felt that. Oh my God. You just trying to cozy on it? Is that what this is? Because again, I'm talking about my intuition. Talking about my intuition. And I'm like, listen, I don't know if I should be believing this. Like I hear what I'm hearing. I'm intuitively quite aware. I call shit out all the time. Fucking getting to the point where I know what people are eating and drinking while they watch my fucking channel. I knew, oh, I have a white desk. Okay, so um it's like from here all through here to my knee. I have so many random body pains, but that ain't one of them. It felt like someone went and just what? Somebody got a voodoo doll? Like the fuck? Leave me alone. The fuck? You think that's gonna stop me? You think I don't deal with chronic pain on my own time? Jesus Christ, no, it's my left. That's what makes it peculiar. I'm used to this stuff happening on the right side, but the left? You're trying to get my good side? I already broke this knee. The fuck you mean? My good side is every side because it's me, darling. You cannot hurt me or affect me in some way that you think is actually gonna translate, other than just being a nuisance and honestly being quite embarrassing for you. Okay, so anyways, let's just keep going. That's my shadow self coming out. That's what I'm saying. Mine's all the right. It's all tied up on the right. That's my dominant side. My neck pain is here, right? My side pain's this side, unless I'm on my period. And guess what? I'm not even close. I'm fucking 2 weeks out. So what's this about? My God. Obsessed. Okay, so community and web weaving, blah, blah, blah. We've been through this. You're leveling up. So you're going to see all these good things happen, and then it's basically all going to change, and you're going to be like, damn, so I just have to leave everything I built behind to go do the thing that I was manifesting the whole time. And it's like, yeah, kind of. All right, so vampire, emotional intelligence. It's funny that I was just talking about that or felt that in that moment. Oh, you're trying to hurt my arm? Right here. Do you literally, did somebody make a fucking voodoo doll? That's the silliest thing. Um, the only reason I can feel it at all is because Papa tells me. Like, the fuck do you think you're doing? Yeah, see, they left. Anyways, it's scary accurate. So that's very funny. No, that's very funny. Vampire emotional intelligence. You always got to be able to know what is coming from where, right? So my shadow side has attracted and affected many people, being accepted and not healed. And the witch on its side, the earthly weaver of the worlds, right? I always say, oh, this card represents me. This is the reminder that this is what I'm doing and that we're still grounded in here, and blah, blah, blah. And this is like the transition out. But here on its side, it's almost as if I am being left out and it's all shadow self. This is like this ding ding ding. This feels like a boxing match. Okay, so these shadows are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's very odd energy, right? Because we have the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds, which would indicate that I surrender. At no point did I ever sign up for a fight with anyone but myself. But who's our contender? Zombie control on its side. There's who controls the controls, right? I said that last night. Or did I say that earlier tonight? I don't know. But there's no one on the other side. It feels like a boxing match, but with what and with who, right? It's funny how you start getting into it. People are like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. It's okay. You don't have to be ready for your fucking shadows. Scary shit. Um, I'm seeing death. Okay, so I'm seeing death. Of course. Like, yeah, of course. Of course, of course, of course. You become too powerful. But just be careful. I would just be careful. That's all. So there's like a few cards in a pile next to each other here, two piles, and then four cards laid out. And then I'm collecting the cards on top, and we have Scry at the bottom of the deck, and I'm cutting it. So we have Owl, wise seeing, wise action. Um, make sure what you look at is something that you want to be receiving, right? Try to remember to surround yourself with people that you want to emulate, right? Rather than ridicule or mock or berate. Like, find the people that you want to be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is what I like. This is what I do. This is what you got to find that for yourself. That's part of the beginning of the process, is to find the community and to find the joy in everything you do. And then to let it change you and to let it become what you are or where you are at all times. Skeleton strength. Have the strength to be humble, have the strength to be normal, have the strength to be spot on, have the strength to be one, have the strength to be kind of like miserable in a sense, and just accept every aspect. As long as you know how to find your own happiness, you can always pause. Like, there can always just, you can just, you know what, I will sit and cry, I will sit and grieve, I will sit and be sad, I will know that great things can be coming, and still also recognize that letting go of these old ways or these old people or these old things will change me inevitably, and that is very sad for me and them. I go mad, no one will know it. Strength. Ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. So this stuff's been going on for centuries, okay? This is our ancestors guiding us and leading the way during these times of uncertainty, these times of ridicule and scarcity, and these power struggles and crazy controls. Just like we were talking about how quickly censorship can take over just naturally, right? When people start censoring themselves, it'll be no problem for them to tell us what is censored now, right? Like, that's where we're at. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. Allow me to introduce you, to give you the tour, because we're about to be here for a long fucking time. But we got the barn back, sweetness and synergy. It's time to work together. It's time to put your best foot forward. It's time to give to people, give back, give up some of the exterior lies you sell yourself. It's time bake the bread. It's time for holiness. It's time for the whole community to be one again. Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. Are you truly happy with yourself? Cauldron, synergy, and healing. Maybe not so. And I don't care how high you are. Who sings this song? Why So Not? Or something like that. Just wake me up when we arrive. And I don't care how high you are. You'll wake me up till we arrive. Okay, so the underworld again. Yeah, just go with me. Forgiveness, reducing burden. Time to forgive your enemies. It's time to forgive because you have to realize that, yes, maybe you too were a dick, or maybe this is a dangerous spot to be putting this because all my chords are right there. Um, Forgiveness, reducing burdens. When it comes up in the other deck, I like to remind people that they are worthy of forgiveness. But if it's coming up in the shadow reading, it is about forgiving other people and less about you being forgiven. Okay? It's like, wow, they forgive me. That's great. I feel good about that. Cool. Shit, did I even say I was sorry? Damn. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Right. Are they saying they're sorry? Do I forgive them? You know, it's one of those kind of, not even a eureka moment, but just one of those things. Or it could be, right? We have 2 minutes for this pre-roll before it's going to go off. And there's still like, there's a line of cards that we haven't really gotten into. Like I said, there's like a couple small piles and then each one laying down, and then a card fell face down on its side on top of one. But I'm gonna start with the death card. So I think I'm just gonna roll some ads so we get like a solid 30 minutes to run through these, and then we can talk a little bit. But it's like, yeah, the pre-rolls are coming, so I have to regardless. So I will be right back. Hey, thank you for the follow, by the way. Intuitive Apollonia. Intuitive Apollonia. I don't know why I'm saying it like an Italian, but I'm Italian, American version. I was snacking again. Told y'all I really need to upkeep the energy tonight for some reason. So just taking a moment to kind of freshen up, but then I just noticed someone followed 10 minutes ago. I feel like a dick that I didn't even say anything. Thank you for being here. Incredible. Amazing. Absolutely lovely. I think it's really something. Okay. I'm almost back. And you're just like listening to all my debatably gross noises. Human noises. Okay. I don't even check my teeth, honestly. I was kind of just rocking pepper earlier. I was like, fuck it. I say pepper to be casual. It was probably most likely coffee grounds, not pepper. But I don't mind the sun sometimes, the images it shows. I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Synergy and sugary and softly spoken lines. You never know just how to look through other people's eyes. Okay, so we're getting back into the reading. Starting with death. Reading out the underworld twice in this reading. But death is the eternal cycle begins here. So it could have been something that started in Scorpio season. Maybe your dark night of the soul. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, but this deck usually doesn't get into interpersonal relationships and doesn't necessarily represent the zodiac at all because only Scorpio and Leo are represented in this deck in that regard because it's death and strength, but none of them are assigned to any of the elements. So fixed energy always. um, it's also winter, so it's sort of like because it's becoming the end of the year and we think Scorpio energy, that's water. Pisces is water, so we're closing the year out with a water season. And this is where death is happening. We're finally closing out the cycles of the last 10 years. And we're finally moving on and we're growing and we're becoming better people for it. And when it comes to Pisces season transitioning into Aries season is when the next new or even like it says eternal cycle will begin. So there's this very beautiful feeling that something wonderful is approaching, but there's almost like a blockage, right? And it's on its side. What's face down means needs to come to surface, and if it's on its side, it means it can be upright or in reverse. Of course, if it's upright, it's is oh my gosh, I accidentally peeped because I leaned over to see the plug had a charge. Scrying. Wasn't I just confessing to y'all that I didn't trust my intuition? That's exactly what this is. The blockage is that you're not trusting your intuition. Because honestly, invisibility, authenticity, it's who you truly are. It's who you've always been. It's who you're meant to be. Isn't it? It's everything you've ever wanted. It's kind of like well then who are you behind closed doors? Who are you when you're alone? Who are you when the clothes come off? When the lights go down? When the show's over? When it's all out in the open? When the defenses are down? When the cameras are off? Right? When everybody goes home and you're alone, your pants off, who are you? You know? Nobody should be a fly on the wall. this lack of trust in your intuition. It's like a lack of trust, because if it was completely not trusting your intuition, it would be in reverse. And if it was completely trusting your intuition, it would be in the upright. 2 2 2 2 2. It's on its side. So this is like a certain lack of trust where you're like, okay, I am intuitive, but can I really believe this right now? The resounding message for this past month has been yes. We've had foresight months ago about Aquarius season being very much informative and telling us what we need to know in some way or another, a sign, a message, a verse, whether it came from us inside or without from someone else. My nose is getting all stuffed up again. Who is that? Because Night Song, Hidden Talents. We already kind of talked about this card. And then we talked about this. And then, oof, Skull of Stars is in reverse. And this isn't, my tooth hurts right here. Is this somebody dealing with a toothache? I just blew my nose, didn't I? Damn, I might have to just take a quick break. What happened? Somebody walked in and walked out. The Skull of Stars in reverse is not necessarily a good thing. Skull of Stars in reverse is like, I'm hearing selfish, annoying. I don't know why. I don't know if that's how someone perceives me or how they perceive themselves. Maybe that's what the shadow is coming out to realize, like, you sit here and say, I'm awesome, I'm perfect, I'm amazing, but then, like, the shadow self is like insecure, annoying, petty, whatever. There's something else about someone wanting out. I'm hearing Kate Bush too. Get out of my house! She's like screaming. That whole album is fucking amazing. Forgiveness and change. Okay, so forgiveness, reducing burden, and money change. Once again. And then I still have these two piles over here. So it's interesting that the infinite possibilities being in reverse means there's really, it's almost like to define a purpose and to say it's like not that anything is truly set in stone, but how much is fate and how much is free will, and how much do those things intentionally coincide, right? Cauldron, synergy, and healing. Night Song, hidden talents. That's what came out. So I definitely could see that. Zombie control. Power struggles. Okay, Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities back in the upright. So once you relinquish yourself from whatever it is that controls you, I feel like somebody's dealing with a little bit of, I don't want to say cocaine use, but I also am drinking these little mini colas. And even though I've been feeling stuffy today, like I have my own cold thing, allergies or whatever it is going on, but I've been fine the whole stream until like this meeting, talking about whatever I just said. Whatever we were just talking, yeah, the control thing, like relinquishing control. I'm like, that feels like somebody maybe doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing or whatever. I'll say that. So be wary, and Pisces season's a crucial time, to get your shit together, come together with others, create something as one with one another. Okay, Night Song and talents. Okay, and skeleton strength. So we got jack-o'-lantern protection. Just know you are protected. Know that this is all divinely protected, and this is meant for your highest good, and this is meant to highlight some of your not so great parts of you. So don't feel bad, because the only reason you're seeing this is because you are protected, not necessarily from the consequences, but you are being given the gift of protection to help steer you away from consequence by learning these things about yourself now, rather than having to interact with them once it all comes crashing down later. Okay? Underneath it is your first blockage to getting back to the road of healing, is what I'm understanding here. And that's going to be winter, the sacredness of pausing. I'm telling you, man, Getting to spring is about to be very difficult things. It's going to be very difficult things. But we will get there with much strength, and by Leo season, we will forget that we were ever like this. Okay? Hung up on my words. I understand. Werewolf, exploring wildness and hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. There's got to be a balance. You got to be able to go out and be yourself while also being a part of what you have going on in the house. And that's okay. And that's something that you'll learn along the way. Being independent and having your own life while also contributing to the greater good of your family or living situation, right? Yeah, winter again. Again. Skull of Light. Okay, Apple, risk and reward at the bottom of the deck. Skull of Light, illumination. What is done in the dark will come to light. And if you feel so inclined, or if you're watching this right now / watching the replay, you do owe me a tip. And if you do not pay, she will come get it. Okay? You do not have to leave a financial tip, but if you have yet to follow, somebody left. They're gonna, I'm not doing it. It's not a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. I was about to say it doesn't have to be a financial tip, but if you've been lurking for a minute and you haven't followed yet, you better do that. Lady will fucking find you. The Lamp, remembrance. I got a photographic memory, and she does too. That was a great way to finish that reading. That was really good, actually. I think that was it with this deck. That felt really like succinct too. And we lost, like everybody left. Like I don't know, people like bug me for tarot so much, and then once I'm actually doing tarot, I guess it's just like not personal enough, or it just doesn't. I don't know. It's too harsh. Maybe half the viewers just left during the reading, and I thought this is what everybody was waiting for. Silly me. They'd literally rather just listen to me spill my secrets instead of learning anything about themselves. Probably. Air fuel. Hey, I make the haterade around here, so go ahead and drink it, bitch. That's my shadow side coming out. Blah. One card came out. Apple, risk and reward. You will never know how it tastes if you do not take a bite. You will never know if it's poison if you do not swallow it, right? Remembrance. Remember what you're doing this for. Remember who you've already lost. Remember who you've got at home. Hurt them, you know? Eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Sometimes we truly do not choose who we love in this lifetime because spider, community, and web weaving, it is done before we even got here. It is story spun into a web, and we are but on this grid. We are but connected by bonds stronger than we can explain in our own human minds, in our brain. Like, there's so much. Dawn, light after the darkness. Maybe it was a heavy year. Maybe it was a lot to go through or whatever, but it is getting to the point where we are leaving. Nice. Okay. That's a good call. Yeah. Kind of was just a metaphor, but that's actually good to know. Thank you. Scrying. Have you been spying and scrying? Have you been practicing with your mirror? You said you've been trying to learn. Wasn't that you who said that the other night? So we got two more face down cards, one on its side, one in the upright. Winter, the sacredness of pausing. So it's also face down. So we have three face down cards. Ooh, the last one's in reverse. So let's see here. this winter, by the end of the winter, what shall happen? This is what shall be the last month, Pisces season, right? What's coming? So first, Earth. Okay, you might be moving. That's the thing. We're emphasizing happiness in our hearts and homes, and if you can't find it, then you gotta go because you can't just destroy the home you're in. You gotta find happiness. If that means leaving, then that's what it is. That's unfortunate. Next, Skull of Light, illumination. What's done in the dark shall come to light. So anything that you don't bother saying will be revealed, especially in like the next 24 hours, because that Aquarius season intuition kind of thing that we've been talking about. Maybe it's 48 hours. Wait, yeah, it would be 48 hours. Lots is going to come out. Lots is going to come to surface. You might as well confess now because Pisces season is going to be a whole flow of other things, right? So that's wild. Night Dog, hidden talents, not hiding those talents anymore. Finally coming out with it, you know? That's great, though. I think that's great. That's the whole thing. It's like analyzing the shadow, making sure you're making the right choices, understanding what it means to be a good person, which means constantly bettering yourself and always questioning your motives, right? You know, just going through life being thoughtless and making actions without any consequence or regard to other people or how they'd be affected is truly, I think, what brings a negative energy to a person or what makes other people perceive them as negative, right? Acting solely for the self, while it is a survival technique, is bad for community. And that's what we as people need because we were not given the natural skills to be able to survive in the world on our own. And we're about to be living in a very different world than we are currently. You know? Sometimes you just want to believe people do the right thing. And that's just not always the case. And sometimes being the best person you can be means leaving people in their. Those stars, infinite possibilities, and peeked back to happiness in our hearts and homes and realized it was that again. And now I'm seeing the blind side, skull of darkness, visibility, authenticity. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, I think I put the deck away. It's weird because it's like I feel like I should keep shuffling, but then it's like nothing really comes out, but then one card at a time comes out, and then I feel, yeah. Okay, whoever was spying or scrying is. Skeleton, strength, have the strength to move on. Dawn, light after the darkness. It's just getting repetitive. The witch. It's not about me, though. That's the thing. There's something that needs to be said to somebody. And there's something about it that, like, is not to do with me. So, like, there's something that I, like, need to say. I'm letting you know that there's something you need to say. That's not about me. So if you know me, that's not a message for you. But if this is random for you, then you have something you can say. That's okay. Because you gotta say it. No matter how scared or chicken or whatever the fuck. I don't know what this is about. I don't know. There's something you need to say. John Mayer was lightly coming up past couple days. Say what you need to say. Skull of Darkness, Blind Spots. Night Song, Hidden Talents. Yeah, these are getting so repetitive. What's up? Here, midnight, the most magical hour of them all. I don't really feel like channeling anyway right now. They wouldn't come out this week, and now they want to. Hell no, I'm not gonna let them. I'm tired tonight. Happiness in our hearts and homes. Right. Skull of Flowers, granting through the ashes. Okay, I feel like that's it then. Skeleton. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put them away. Skull of Flowers, granting through the ashes, and eternal love. Love is love, and it transcends physical death. Final notes. I love you, love you, love you, love you long time. Guys. Coolio. Wait, RIP? Wait, what? Not Coolio. Coolio's alive, isn't he? Oh, wait. Am I depressing myself? He, like, just died. Yeah. My dumbass. That's sad that I forgot and I had to relive that moment. We did a reading with him. So I was like, no, come on, we do know this. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna take a quick break so I can blow my nose and take a second after that reading, because even though nobody seemed to like it, I thought it was pretty deep. So when I come back, we can go into chat mode at least for a minute and just kind of decide what we might be doing. I feel like when my hair is messy, I look so much more unhinged than I really am. But my Twiggy clown makeup definitely looks like I was just crying. It's like not, you know, giving, not giving Twiggy clown as much as it's giving sad girl aura. But yeah, so I'm gonna roll some ads. I'm gonna take care of this, take care of myself, take care of you a little bit. And I'll be right back, okay? Okay, I'm back. I ate more soup and I'm here to chat. I feel like everybody left who already didn't know me. Maybe got a couple sleepers on the stream. That's okay. Got a few night shifters too, right? It's pretty late, pretty odd hours of the morning. How's everybody doing though? I could go, or I could drink this Coke. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's sleepy time. I feel like this was a nice, pretty good stream. I'm down to chat for a minute, like we normally do. Whenever I say I'm gonna go, we usually like wrap it up for anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour before we actually get off. Um, so we can share our post-apocalyptic thoughts for sure. But yeah, I kind of expected this to be a short stream tonight. I intentionally started it late so that it would be short, and also knew that I was like tired and not really wanting to do jack shit today. And that was a pretty good in-depth reading, um, with a great character build in the beginning. Four. Just to like have that, I guess. Or despite the fact that I was just tired and just wanted to kind of get it over with, you know? But yeah, a lot of people bailed. It probably just got too late, or there was somebody better to watch, or someone they liked more, I should say. Um, yeah, I guess I do have other things that I could be doing now that I'm upright and in my office. I probably could be doing things that I lacked doing today that I wanted to do, but like the brain frogs and headache and whatever the fuck else this weather and all of these things are doing to me. So, having a rough go with that. Yeah, it's been it's been a draining kind of week where I'm like doing the best I can to keep the energy going and keep the vibe up, and yet yeah. Um, I'm so excited for it to be summer. I really am looking forward to that. Good luck. I called off work yesterday. Couldn't do it. I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought I had allergies, and I'm starting to think this is more than fucking allergies. It fucking blows. That's why, like, yeah, I don't think I can do much more than 3 hours. I'll try to make it to this 3 hour mark because one, I need Twitch streaming hours for sure, and two, I feel like people don't really watch the replays when they're this short, and even if they're 3 hours, they won't. But it's more likely if it is. Hopefully, we'll get a longer stream in soon, but I'm not streaming tomorrow. If I still end up going through with my plans, depends on how I feel. It's a lot going on in the world between the chemical spills and the allergies, where it's like, am I sick if I feel like okay, but like frustrated that I can't do anything? It's a big flag. If I'm tired, I'm tired, but if I'm motivated and tired, I'm like, oh damn, the fuck, man. So we'll see. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great evening. I hope that y'all got something out of that reading. I know it sounds intense when I do stuff like that. I'm like, I think that part of the reason it's coming up is because I've had to analyze my own shadow self. That, like I said, I've done a lot of my shadow work and I've put in a lot of time and effort into integrating, accepting, and revealing and knowing my shadow and my weaknesses and my darkest secrets, but still grappling with the fact that they exist and still wanting to make good decisions, but knowing that sometimes you have to show that side of you so other people can see it in themselves. And that can be a painful experience where sometimes the defense mechanism or the boundary that needs to be set is treating people the way you're being treated. And so if someone's not treating you good, you might turn around and not treat them so good. And it's like, damn, as someone who's familiar with this side of myself, that's very hard to do because you have lots of regrets. You question how much you've grown, and yeah, it's more than likely anybody who was tuned into this reading is more at the beginning, just on the brink or precipice of the shadow dark night kind of thing. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it, and then it just was happening today. And it was the scariest shit that's ever happened to me, pretty much. So maybe I was drugged. Who knows? I mean, no one will ever say, right? No one would ever admit that. So it is what it is. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. For me, I just do this instead. So I'm about to roll these ads. I don't know if I'm able to make it this 10 minutes. I'm gonna roll these ads. Come back and say goodnight to y'all, cause like, man, I don't even know. Like, it is just the week that it is. We've created enough. Apparently, this creation, new moon, ovulation cycle is um just one of those moments of, you know what? I'm gonna give it a rest. I'm gonna sit here and do nothing and just wait for my ships to come in. I think that's the energy. Yep, yep. I love how people just popped in when I'm like giving up all hope. Yeah, I'm gonna roll some ads. Just why not make that money? So if you gotta go, it ain't gonna last much longer. Good night. I love you all so much. Um, I'm probably gonna roll ads and go to sleep. Okay, I'm back. I'm still exhausted, but yeah, just gonna say a little final note here and finish off this conversation is that yes, like these next 2 days, if you are suppressing something, hiding something, keeping things a secret, anything like that, there will be this like reckoning of Judgment Day coming the next literally like 48 hours where everything, the tea is gonna get spilled. So you better hope that you've already spoken all your tea. Because when it's hot, it's boiling. Exactly, writing. That's why I said writing it down. Journals, poetry, music. It's like expressing it. It's not necessarily getting anyone to hear how you're feeling as much as it's about feeling it. So that's why I'm surprised because it's like I thought that I'm very expressive and I pour all my love into everything I do and I get to sing and all this other things where I thought that that was enough. And so I feel it's very like everybody's going to interpret the message differently because it's got to suit your own needs. And a great example of that is how we all are sort of swapping practices. But like I said, my shadow looked very different than what I saw tonight, and I feel like that's why it, a lot of it feels right. And it's almost like we're on two different sides of the situation in a sense, right? Like that there's that dynamic between the masculine and feminine, or just like the yin and the yang, where we represent either side, not to say which one's which, but just that the things that we're doing would click as opposite. So, anyways, anyone who's still here not sleeping, thank you so much. We did make it to our little 3 hour mark. I got like 2 minutes. I think I can close off with a few things. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for dealing with my somewhat erratic and aggro personality. Thank you for embracing the chaos as always, which apparently draws more people in than I realize. But as John Waters is also Taurus, I should realize that to begin with. If you ever want to watch more of my streams, you can join me over on Patreon. I know it's shitty. It's like, oh, it was free the first time and not the second time. And it's like, yeah, well, it's the whole reservoir. So you can look back to a year ago and see what the fuck was going on for just as little as $5 a month. You can also go to my website, which is more free than that, and you can sign up to be a member once again for free, free, free. And you can read all sorts of my writing, all sorts of my poetry, among other stuff, some of which is exclusive to my website. You can also drop some chats in the forum if you want. They're a bit quiet now, but that's only because I haven't given them the kind of love they need, you know? It's all coming. Spring will be here before we know it. So, if you also want to spend some money, you can also do that on my website. Book your own personal reading, because that's the only way you're going to get a personal reading from me. A lot of my readings might feel personal, and that's exactly the point of a general reading, is that we come here at the time we need to be here, and hear what we need to hear. Other than that, personal readings do cost money for a reason. It's because it's a lot of fucking work. Thank you for respecting it. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of it. I love you all so much. Could not. How would I have ever done this? All of you. So we'll probably not be here tomorrow unless my plans fall through. If I don't feel good, when I wake up and I still don't feel good, I'll know it ain't allergies. Whatever. I'll stay home. Or if they're sick too, then I'll be quiet. But I might come back Saturday because it's the New Year's Eve. I forgot about that. I don't usually stream on Saturdays, and of course, I streamed last night to make up for tomorrow. But I might end up streaming Saturday, just New Year's Eve. So we'll see how that goes. And that's cool. Yeah, 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 yeah. So other than that, I can't really think of much else. You can see I dropped some fucking new merch. Spoiler alert: it's skateboards. They're kind of funny. You can find it in my link tree if you want to. You know, do you even skate, bro? Click that. You'll see, like, I made some skateboards. That was one of my Valentine's Day drops. Oh, you're still here. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm saying. If people weren't into it, I wouldn't be able to just continuously do it. Um, but yeah, so go check out some of my other stuff. You'll love it. And don't mind me. I'm gonna roll more ads because I'm trying to make that money, dog. Like, who cares? Turn it off. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna come back this time. So I'm about to blow my nose and go to bed. But um, listen, if I roll these ads, don't make fun of me. I'm trying to make them. Good night. Shooby dooby. Once again, came back just to say thank you, good night, and good luck, and all that stuff. We'll see. I'm not gonna probably be back tomorrow. If I am, it's because I'm sad that my plans were cancelled. Yes, manifesting greatness for the morning. Amen. So I think we're all just gonna be fine. But it's gonna be a bumpy ride, gonna be a bumpy ride, because it's like the end times or whatever. So, yeah, put some glitter on and enjoy it. We'll catch up soon. Mwah. If not, I'll be back Sunday evening because that's what we do. So, if I see you this weekend, I see you this weekend. If not, that's all for now.